YouTube is in easy mode. I mean, have you seen these videos by so many creators, including myself? I'm guilty, and the fact of the matter is, I'm not sure that's wrong because a lot has changed over the years, and now YouTube is in easy mode, comparatively speaking. But goodness, if you're getting started, if you're trying to make it happen, it is next to impossible. And yet it is still very probable. I want to talk a little bit about easy mode, what it means to me, how you can truly use it with just 1 hour a day. I believe that if you've got 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, you can totally crush YouTube in 2025. So if you're new to the channel, I'm glad you made it. My name is Brian, been a creator for a long time, and I absolutely love creating content, whether it's photography, whether it's a video, writing a book, and so on. And yes, YouTube is in easy mode, but it certainly doesn't feel like it. Let's talk about it. Absolutely. You can edit a lot less on YouTube and succeed. In fact, did you know there are tons of creators that don't do any editing at all and they succeed? And I think that is wonderful. The fact of the matter is, back in the day, that was almost unheard of. And yet it's so hard to make any visible progress. So what gives? Why are these videos so popular? It's because they are popular, and that's why I made the video, because I loved the concept and the idea. In fact, when I made the video, I challenged myself. Hey, is it possible to make a good video, not perfect, but a good video in 1 hour? In fact of the matter is, I missed the mark, but 75 minutes, I'm going to call that a win, especially when I hardly spent any time editing. I didn't really script much. I had a few ideas and the video was done, finished, and uploaded. Again, 75 minutes, and that's with a thumbnail. So how can you move forward and get great results yourself, regardless of what we call it? Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, it's easy, it's not easy, it's in easy mode, it's not in easy mode, it's crazy. The first step is just to have the mindset to be able to stay in the game for the long term and to improve your videos over time 1% week by week. So the idea is, let's say you've got 5 hours a week that you want to use to make YouTube videos and to grow an audience, to make money, to share your gameplay, whatever it is. This is how I've done it in the past, and it's how I'm doing it right now. Super powerful. Step number one with that mindset stuff is you have to run with the winners. I got to tell you, there is so much negativity on the internet and YouTube especially. So many negative videos, so many people complaining about all the things. In fact of the matter is, our minds are wired to be aware of dangerous situations. But when we start complaining and nitpicking and we don't focus on our own journey, it makes it so much harder to achieve the success that we're after. If you're hanging around a bunch of creators that haven't published videos in weeks and weeks, and all they do is complain, eventually that thought, those thoughts, those ideas penetrate your mind and you start to think in this particular way. So for me personally, I really strive to push away the negative videos, the creators that think they're doomed. And it makes me sad that I've done this poll on YouTube so many times, is YouTube fair? Does YouTube treat small creators fair? And time again, it's so interesting. It's always about the same. It's like 70% say no. And I struggle with talking about this because if you answered my poll and you said no, and I'm saying that's not the right way to think, you might abandon my channel. And yet I need to be honest and authentic and share what I believe. And this channel is for the winners. This channel is for those individuals that want to move forward, kicking down the door of opportunity as they announce their arrival wherever life may take them, including this incredible platform, YouTube. So I get you. If you feel like the algorithm isn't fair, isn't treating you fair, it can be a challenge, but I want to encourage you to focus on your journey and what you can control, like publishing one video minimum each week, striving to improve along the way, focusing on the things that matter, thumbnails, topics, titles, big ideas, understanding what it means to be compelling in your thumbnails and more. When we do this, it becomes so much easier to have success, and we're focused on the things we can control when so many people are blaming the algorithm, blaming YouTube, blaming this, that, and the other thing, and they never accept responsibility for where they're at. And with that, really focus on the 10 most important elements of YouTube success. And I want to talk about exactly what those are. The more you can free up your mind of asking questions that frankly, they're not that great, right? And I understand, because when I got started, I asked the same questions. I thought in the same manner, and I wish someone would have been honest with me. I wish someone would have said, hey, listen, man, it doesn't matter what time you publish your video. When you make a good video that viewers love, they're going to click and they're going to watch, and the video will be there when they log on to YouTube. But spending time thinking about when to publish, the best day to publish, the algorithm doesn't like me, doesn't leave much space for those 10 things. Let's talk about them. Number 10, and by the way, these 10 items are really the most important things we want to focus on to achieve success. Number 10 is to understand the audience really, really well. The more we focus on one specific audience and a niche that they're interested in, the more we can ensure there are other channels making videos serving this one audience, this one niche, and I could literally take the topics from this channel and make my version, and no one would think twice. The moment we do that, the more likely we can move forward and connect with that audience, because we're really trying to understand them. What I've learned is, in the beginning, I had a general idea of what my audience wanted, but over time, it's easier for me to understand because I ask questions, I have polls, I see the comments in my videos, and I pay attention to the comments on other channels in my particular niche, serving the same audience. Number 9 is to really get clear on what is your unique value on YouTube. This is interesting. I don't think this is anything you need to focus on specifically trying to understand how to make it happen. Like, I can't make videos until I understand my unique value. But when you say, what is my unique value? When you start thinking about what is it about my videos that is a little bit different from others in my niche. When I hear people say, oh, I create exciting, fun gameplay, that's not unique. That's very common, and you're not really unique at all. You're one in a herd of thousands of creators, and it's really hard to stand out. So the thing that I thought about when I got started is I just made videos, but I kept that in the back of my mind, and I thought about the audience, number 10, and then the unique value, and I started to really come into my own over the years and succeeded on YouTube. And that brings me to number 8, which is research, recon, understanding what's happening on YouTube, understanding the trends that are taking place in my niche, not globally, not like, all the big things that are gathering attention on the internet, but specific to my niche. And the fact of the matter is you can apply trends to any topic, no matter what, including your channel. If you're in entertainment, you can absolutely leverage trends. In fact, did you know a lot of great comedians, they're very topical and they talk about things that are happening now. Why do they do that? Because it's easy for the audience to latch on because they care about those things in real time. So a lot of times people will say, well, but my niche and my channel is different. It's not. I want to encourage you to think I can apply all of these strategies and tactics to my channel and to my niche. And when I do that, I'm going to be more likely to succeed here on YouTube. And then number 7 is to edit and to learn the value of editing. And for me, all that means is taking the video file, opening it up on a laptop or even like on my phone, right? Opening it up on my phone and editing out the dead spaces, the bad takes, and so on. Like if you get started and you're too intimidated to do that, don't edit. But eventually, I think most creators are going to benefit from, spending 5 hours to learn the basic fundamentals of editing, which is just cutting off the beginning when you're trying to get started with a video, cutting the end when the video's over, and cutting out the dead spaces in the middle. Like literally 3 to 5 hours, and you can make that happen yourself. It's very powerful. If you choose, you can go on and add different elements, titles, sound effects, multicam, this camera, that camera, and the other. And it becomes really great. Casey Neistat and a lot of great filmmakers say that a great video or film is born in the edit. When we learn the power of editing, it gives us skills to hide our mistakes. It gives us skills to create something that's fun and engaging beyond what we can do if we don't edit. Food for thought. And then number 6 is video quality, and I love that I'm choosing this angle. I just purchased this used Sony beautiful 50mm Zeiss lens, and I love the background blur. I love that it looks cinematic. I love that this is shot on a 35mm camera and the colors look pleasing. And the fact of the matter is this is more than enough. When I started on YouTube, I used a phone and I made some videos talking about video editing on a phone actually, and those videos did so well. I've seen so many amazing videos shot on a phone. Video quality today for me is much more about the lighting and the audio and just making sure your shot is pleasing, it's framed up right, you're a nice distance away from the camera, and so on. Once it's good enough, move on, because again, it's not that important. And again, remember, this list of these 10 items is really in order of importance and so on. Oh, and before we move on, the backdrop is part of your video quality. Think about it. Item number 5 is the big idea. This is powerful. It kind of ties into the old school thinking of what's really important on YouTube, which always people would talk about the topic and the title and so on. And yes, those are really important, but more powerful is the big idea. What is it about the topic you want to cover, and how do you want to share? If a lot of people are making videos about AI, and the fact that we have this new update where YouTube is asking, do you want to allow these AI companies access to your videos to train their data? Imagine your face in an AI video in a year. Like, I selected yes because I believe in AI. I want to use AI, but I want to do it in an ethical manner. If most people are saying it's horrible and I say, hey, I think it's good, then I might actually bring with me a bunch of people that agree with my sentiment. Being authentic and so on is powerful. Having a big idea and understanding what that is before you film will give your video an edge. And then next up is thumbnail design, which is so very powerful. Having the ability to create a compelling message with your thumbnail and then testing them out and so on makes it easier for you to accumulate more watch time faster, literally by spending another 5 minutes to create a simple thumbnail. This is a skill that absolutely I ignored when I came back to YouTube a year ago. So I've been on YouTube now. Again, this is my third coming, right? The third time I've been growing this channel. And I started a year ago and I really neglected my thumbnails, and I wish I wouldn't have done that because they're powerful, they're important, and for me, it's the thing that now I enjoy creating. Thumbnails for the win. Can you dig? When we talk about thumbnails, less is more. Adding text on your thumbnails makes so much sense in 2025 because then we can really test the compelling text on our thumbnails versus the actual aesthetics or beauty of the thumbnail. Being compelling in one way and again in a different way, right? Being negative on AI and then positive, and seeing which message resonates with the audience and drives more clicks and more watch time is powerful. Focusing on the emotion in a thumbnail is so powerful, and that's why you see these thumbnails with these big open faces or a sad negative expression just like that. Like that is the thing that really pulls people in, because emotion is what drives people to act, like clicking on a thumbnail. For the actual aesthetics and beauty of a thumbnail, contrasting colors are really beautiful and draw the eye in. And then item number 3 is your video title. It is by far more powerful than a thumbnail because it's the title that the algorithm really uses to first understand what your video is about. In fact, the algorithm will look for keywords and look for what people are searching for, what's in the title of your video, and merging those things together gives you a powerful advantage. Creating titles that incorporate keyword phrases while still honoring compelling trigger words will make it so in terms of getting more views and subscribers and getting that precious watch time. And then number 2, and this one is super powerful, is really leveraging analytics, especially engagement. If you go into your analytics, you'll actually notice there's a tab in each individual video's analytics that says engagement. And that engagement, these metrics incorporate things like likes and comments and shares and average view duration and CTR and retention and how many people are subscribing to your video. Like these are the things to focus on, not when should I publish. We want to improve the things that have a big impact on the algorithm so we can connect with our audience and win. But the item number 1 is probably the most important thing, and I actually have a bonus item that's more powerful than number 1. Item number 1 is your ability to communicate and deliver a message that's powerful. And fact of the matter is, I think today's performance for me is okay, B-. But the other day I was on fire. I felt really good and authentic, and I easily crafted messages that connected with an audience. And one of my videos did, I think it's close to 18,000 views in about a 2 or 3 week period. Why is that? I believe it was my delivery. Here's a powerful, and I need to do this right. I'm pointing over here at this whiteboard. One of the things I've done in the past is write down on a huge whiteboard, not all the things I need to do and think about this, but the things that I need to focus on in my videos themselves. If you're like, well, I'm not on camera, if you're creating a voiceover, you want to strive to improve that voiceover. If you're like, hey, I do AI, well then, if you're creating a voiceover with AI, it's still the same game. We need to work hard to create a realistic voiceover that connects emotionally with the audience. That's the thing that really makes some channels explode and others not so much. And yet it's not something a lot of people ask about. Isn't that interesting? I think we're looking for the easy button. But what makes me sad is if we're always looking for something that truly doesn't exist, we're never really focusing on the things that can help us get there. Here's the bonus tip. Your next video will make it so. Instead of thinking, I'm going to make a few videos and see what happens, if we really decide that in 2025, I'm publishing 2 videos a week, every week, no matter what, at least one, and I'm really going to honor the long-term success of my channel rather than pinning the hopes and dreams on this next video, for me personally, I think that's when we win here on YouTube. Now do this. This video on the screen now can help you to move forward, understanding why you may or may not be succeeding on YouTube. Check out that video, and when you do, you'll get the tips, the tactics, and more. You dig?